Hey everyone, welcome. It's Tuesday. It's been quite a week, quite a weekend. It's if only Tuesday, but it feels like so much has been going on and so much is happening. I know you guys are tired and probably besides trying to deal with your day-to-day life, to deal with the constant breaking news and constant distractions, and not only distractions, but now constant weaponization and attack full force, without any remorse, without any cover. As I wrote today, the masks are off, folks. They are full force using the Charlie Kirk death to try to basically do whatever they want. We're going to get into the things. The reason why I'm going live is I have a lot of interviews I'm doing, a lot of things happening, but I thought it was important because as I've been watching the news cycle and watching the media and then scrolling certain, platforms and seeing the things that are being reported, it was upsetting to watch that everybody's regurgitating the same thing. They're basically reporting what the Trump's Cash Patel is at a hearing and, being very disruptive, not answering any of the questions. It's become, just a joke and theatrics. I don't even know why they're holding these hearings because he's basically sitting up there telling congressmen or senators that I don't have to answer you. I'm not going to tell you this is what I decide to do because they have and no remorse. I mean, no consequences. You got Grassley sitting up there and basically covering up, allowing Patel to run the show. So don't even understand the reasoning for it because it's just disgusting to watch, regurgitating. And then watching some of the other news and everything. Yes, we had the big press conference that said, again, nothing. The only thing that I think you saw out of that, I'm not going to go into it because that's stuff my son reports on, and you guys go listen to him. He'll give you the breakdown of all the news. But the interesting part about watching that news conference was a real prosecutor stand up there and really not give you any information, not answer any questions, instead be in a very defensive mode to a lot of the stuff that Cash Patel and the Trump DOJ has been pushing, the lies, the leaks, false narratives to be able to do it. And today you saw basically the other side of it. Nothing being answered. But to get the latest on all that news and update, definitely go follow my son Aaron, and I'm sure you guys already are. He'll give you the update on it, and I'm waiting to hear from him also. But the reason I chose to do the live today is to tell you what the media is not reporting. And that's kind of our motto here at Love Remembers is, we basically talk about what the media doesn't talk about, as I tell you, don't listen to what they're reporting, don't listen to what they're saying, follow and watch what's happening behind the scenes, what they're not talking about, what they're not reporting. And the few subjects that we're going to talk about today, and I have also some very big news that I'm going to share with you guys today also, is first the first subject is the weaponization of the death of Charlie Kirk. For those of you that have been watching and seeing my reporting and over the weekend, as I've been telling you, even though the media talks nothing about it, they're talking about, they're scared to talk about who Charlie Kirk really was. Right now, there's a major push being done by the right, by Donald Trump himself, by J.D. Vance, the vice president, the president, the highest. They had over 80 congressmen and congresswomen in the Kennedy Center to go. Laura, yes, we're going to do reports on Ukraine. I'm here. That's part of it. So let me give you a breakdown of 4 things we're going to go into before I go into them. I apologize. So we're going to go into what the media is not talking about. A, the weaponization of the death of Charlie Kirk. 2, very important, is how they're using his martyrdom. They're turning him into a martyr. The reason they're doing that is for what I've been speaking to my sources, I've been telling them, is allowing them to push Project 2025 quicker, faster, and push it through. And one of my articles that if you haven't read, we're going to go over today, but you must read it. But I'm going to play some of the experts out of it. Is yesterday, Stephen Miller came out. The masks came down, and if you watch carefully, if you read what I wrote about, you'll see that basically. Stephen Miller's taking the shoe by what's the shoe by the horn or the horse by the reins, and he's now coming on being more vocal and being aggressive. The other thing the media is not talking about, they mentioned it yesterday, 11 o'clock at night. There was a breaking news, but if you guys read my Substack, you know about it's about the $2 billion quid pro quo. Something that here at Lev Remembers, I told you about 4 months ago. If you remember in May, Donald Trump went to his famous trip to the Middle East, and I was screaming at the top of my lungs, how come nobody's talking about where Twiddledee Twiddledum? Junior and Eric and with Steve Witkoff, son Zach, they were there a week prior to cutting deals. How come nobody's reporting on that? Well, 4 months later, yesterday, 11 o'clock at night, they finally reported on it, and we're going to talk about that. It took them 4 months to tell you what and the reason I'm telling you is not to pat myself on the back. Please understand me, and I don't want you to think I'm trying to gloat that this is not a game. For me, this is very personal because my sources, my contacts, and I personally, we're risking our lives, we're risking our freedom to be able to get this information, to be able to save Ukraine's freedom, our democracy, not to be able to wait 4 months for them to start talking. And the fact that they spoke about it last night, 11 o'clock at night, and that's it. Now it's buried in the news cycle. It's like they reported on it, they wrote about it, now it's gone, but there's no follow up. And just think about it. We spent over 4 years listening to Donald Trump and the what's it called, the MAGA, which I was a part of, and just listening to total lies about how crooked the Bidens were, how they took all this money, and all you could hear, if the most you ever heard about was millions, maybe 10 million, 2 million, 2 million bribe. This is what they were talking about, and this is what they said destroyed our country. We're talking about billions, folks, not millions, not tens of millions, not hundreds of millions, billions. That's how they're making their deals. We're going to go into that. The other very important thing, I have some very important news to share with you guys. On Thursday, and I will put out a press release, but make sure you guys set your alarms, set your notifications, make a note, because as I promised you, one of the things they're trying to do, and the media is helping them do, as you probably have seen, that we have heard nothing about the Epstein files. It's quieted down. Mega's starting to join forces again. They're using the Charlie Kirk death to whitewash that, to make it, don't even like a voodoo, don't even mention or speak about it during the grieving time of Charlie Kirk. So, but let me tell you this much: we here, we're not gonna ever forget the Epstein victims, the Epstein survivors, and the Epstein files. I gave you my word. As long as you're with me, I'm with you, and with the victims and with the survivors, and we're going to continue giving their voice, being their megaphone, being an extension of their voice. And because of that, we have something extremely special this Thursday at 3:15. We're doing a live, and I'm going to have Congressman Ro Khanna here. That's right, Congressman Ro Khanna, and possibly Thomas Massey. We don't know yet, but Ro Khanna is going to be here. He's going to give us a full update on exactly what's going on. I don't want to talk ahead of some of the news he's talking about. I know you're reading it, that they're very close to getting the votes to bring it to the floor. We're going to hear from, like they say, from the horse's mouth. So we're going to get on Thursday at 3:15. We're going to talk about, and we're going to start bringing up the Epstein files, the Epstein voices, the survivors, the victims, and again, try to do whatever we can to change the news cycle from what they're doing. Because as I tell the Democrat leadership, it's all about changing the news cycle, because majority of the voters out there that we all depend on to be able to vote the right way to save our democracy are not sitting on here and following us and listening to us on a day-to-day basis. We're trying to get them, and that's why I ask of you to do your job, and you guys do incredible. We go out there, we spread the word, we bring more subscribers on. We're doing whatever we can to build our community. But you're talking about tens of hundreds of millions of people that are not even coming close to hearing any of this stuff. What they're hearing is tidbits of what the media is putting out there. And because of that, we have to be loud and strong and to be able, so this way the media repeats what we're doing, so that the congressmen and congresswomen that you guys call, that you send emails to, that they repeat and they do what they're doing. So we all do our job and keep it up. And last but not least, we're going to talk about Ukraine, and what's happening with Russia, Ukraine. I know Alexander is going to be joining us also. He's back from his trip to Dnipropetrovsk. Thanks to every one of you, he was able to deliver all the humanitarian aid, or aid that it was extremely important, and it came at the right time during the summer's hit, because I just want you to understand the intensifications in Russia have been on Ukraine have intensified, bigger, stronger ever since. Every time Trump has met, they have intensified. But Alex has some news for us. He's going to give us some updates. And before he gets here, guys, quick also update. I'm putting together, his kids are putting together actually a GoFundMe, which I'm going to share with you guys, which has nothing to do with the aid going out to Ukraine. This is going to be a direct GoFundMe just to help Alexander out, because he's never asked for it. And sometimes we forget, but he's out there on the front line. And he, just like everybody else in Ukraine right now, needs every help that they could get. So we're going to put that together for him also, and we'll share it with you guys. So just, I'll let you, as soon as his kids get it to me, I'll get it to you right away and put it together. So working on that. So that's where we're at right now. So let's do a quick rundown, because there's a lot to go over. And then when Alexander joins us, we'll, get into Ukraine. But I started off with you by first talking about how they're right now weaponizing his death to be able to go out there and change the narrative and change a news cycle, and to go out there and to be able to rewrite history, which they always do. It doesn't matter if it's with the elections, the Bidens, doesn't matter what they do. But the fact that they're turning him into a martyr, trying to, at least. I know a lot of you say he's no martyr, and I'm not, saying it in the way that they're going to make him a martyr, but what they're trying to do, and what my sources are telling me, and it's being very effective so far, because there's nobody in the media and nobody on the Democratic leadership that right now is just sticking up. Everybody's just on the defense, sitting back and, taking this, while they're pushing, just like Russia is sending missiles into Poland, and pushing to see how far they could go and seeing what type of a reaction they're going to get. Same way as right now, Trump's administration, like Vance and all of them, are pushing to see how far they could go without any pushback here. So I wrote the letter earlier today that the masks are off, because what we saw yesterday, it was really something unique. You saw wording. I know we hear these people talk about, we hear Donald Trump all the time, but this time, I want you to hear some of these clippets in your own words, okay? And some of the things that happen in the Oval. Some of you might have heard this stuff already. Some of you might have seen. A lot of you, I know, are busy working. So for those of you, bear with me, but I'm sure it doesn't hurt to hear again, to make you want to do something about it, to hear the way what they're doing with our democracy, with our and what they're hearing. So we'll go over the letter that I put out there earlier today. Okay, so Charlie Kirk had a podcast. So yesterday, one of the things they did is JD Vance held his podcast from the White House. And here's a snippet of JD Vance's. I'm not going to give you a lot because it's just so much. I took snippets out of different things just to give you guys an idea of what is transpiring. But here's JD Vance on the show talking about, whose fault is it? Keep in mind, still no investigation at the time this was coming out. The only news they have, even today, when we had the press conference just now about the indictment and the trial and the arraignment of this assassin, nothing. There's no besides Donald Trump, Kash Patel, J.D. Vance, Stephen Miller, and Pam Bondi. Nobody's saying that it was the left. Like, there's no other authorities out there saying that has anything to do with left-wing radicalization, nothing to do with his sexual preference, nothing to do with transgender. But these five individuals that I mentioned keep making a major push, and these are the individuals that run it. I mean, you got the head of the DOJ, head of the FBI. I mean, the president of the United States, the vice president of the United States. These are the people that are telling you exactly what you hear. So here, why don't you hear some of the snippets yesterday of their own voices? So this is J.D. Vance on the show here.
Walk me through at a high level, like what you and I have been working on, what the whole administration has been working on to try to make sure that we don't reward and promote this craziness.
Oh,
Yes.
so I'm sorry. This is J.D. Vance and Stephen Miller. So they opened. This is I forgot. So Stephen Miller and J.D. Vance. This is where I told you Miller has come out of his shell, and now Miller is. Yesterday was Miller Day. Basically, he was involved. So this started off with him having a podcast from the White House with Stephen Miller and J.D. Vance. This is Vance asking Miller a question. Here we go.
Walk me through at a high level, like what you and I have been working on, what the whole administration has been working on to try to make sure that we don't reward and promote this craziness. So it's an excellent question. I said this before, and but it bears repeating. The last message that Charlie sent me was, I think it was just the day before we lost him, which is that we need to have an organized strategy to go after the left-wing organizations that are promoting violence in this country. And I will write those words onto my heart and I will carry them out. If people ask me, what emotions I'm feeling right now, this is something people say, I mean, you kind of know the answer. There's incredible sadness. There's incredible anger. And the thing about anger is that unfocused anger or blind rage is not a productive emotion. Right. But focused anger, righteous anger, directed for a just cause is one of the most important agents of change in human history. Probably showed that. Amen. And we are going to channel all of the anger that we have over the organized campaign that led to this assassination to uproot and dismantle these terrorist networks. So let me explain a little what that means. So, no, 30 seconds. You'll be quick, Stephen. The organized doxing campaigns, the organized riots, the organized street violence, the organized campaigns of dehumanization, vilification, posting people's addresses, combining that with messaging that's designed to trigger and incite violence, and the actual organized cells that carry out and facilitate the violence. It is a vast domestic terror movement. With God as my witness, we are going to use every resource we have at the Department of Justice, Homeland Security, and throughout this government to identify, disrupt, dismantle, and destroy these networks and make America safe again for the American people. It will happen, and we will do it in Charlie's name.
A lot to go over there, and this is just the first one. If the guy is just disgusting. But his colors are coming out. You're starting to see who's really running the show, who's putting the things together, because he's telling you exactly. They're not hiding anymore. He's telling you exactly like it is. First of all, what's very important, I want you to notice, is that the important words that they say, and this is why I want you to say, because I was part of them, and they're the key words, is they're all now, and you'll hear it, is they all mention that the last thing that Charlie said to me, the last text that Charlie sent me, the last thing that Charlie did, and they're using that because it's an emotional tool to right away hit you hard, because and for you to sit there and think, oh, this is like the last dying wishes of a dying man. This is not the case. They speak all the time. They were, they basically, what he's telling you is that Charlie Kirk was telling him, sending him text messaging, telling him to go after the Democratic organizers, like the George Soros, the donators, the people that put together the No King's Day, weaponization. So it's not. It wasn't. You need to understand how you look at it. They're trying for you to think and be passionate about to say, oh my God, these are the last dying words of a man, of the saint that we need to fulfill. And then he goes on by saying he's going to do with his last breath everything in his heart. Just think about the words he's using. Just think about to go afterward. So this was Stephen Miller yesterday. And then Donald Trump, the day before, or it had to, come in and put fuel on the fire and tell us what he really felt and who he thought was responsible for all of this. I'm gonna let you listen to this. This so this is Trump leaving Bedminster, and they're asking him.
When we attack people, we have to be careful. In an one hand, for these agents on the left, after that is justice. Well, the problem is on the left. If you look at the problem is on the left. It's not on the right, like some people like to say on the right. The problem we have is on the left. And when you look at the agitators, you look at the scum that speaks so badly of our country, the American flag burnings all over the place. That's the left. That's not the right. We're not investigating. We'll see. We'll be announcing. They're already under investigation.
Already under investigation.
Yeah, they're already under major investigation. A lot of the people that you would traditionally say are on the left. They're already under investigation.
Already under investigation.
Somebody have to start revoking the leaders of the foreigners not celebrating service instead. No, we haven't, but we are looking at names. We don't like that. That's not right. We wouldn't celebrate if something happened on this side, and we don't. These are sick people. These are really deranged people. Any progress on the Fifth Airman, sir? Well, other than I don't like.
So, these are sick people, they're scum. Just think about this. I remember when we were in 2016, when Hillary Clinton came out and called us deplorables, the right, when I was part of MEGA. Oh my God, how crazy it was. Do you remember? Deplorables. She called half the country deplorables, and because of that, the media turned it into the most craziest thing. This man is coming out and calling half the country, more than half the country, scum, vermin. He's calling us vermin, scum. Just think about that. That's the president of the United States. He's calling our kids, our grandkids, us, everybody that disagrees with them, rats, vermin, scum. And we're supposed to just sit there and listen to this bullshit. Hell no, that ain't gonna happen. We're not gonna do it. So then we continue. Who's this? Let's see. Oh, so then we continue. Then Trump later on in the day decides to have an oval announcement. He's announcing that he's going into Memphis. So just to give you a quick update on that, for those of you that think that Chicago's off the hook, absolutely not. My source are telling me that Chicago is still, he's going in, planning on going in strong. He actually, as we're speaking, I think there are currently ICE raids are happening. That's what I've been told. I don't know. We'll see confirmation later. But there are current ICE raids happening in Chicago as we're talking. But the reason they're quickly doing Memphis is because the Tennessee governor, just like others, like governors out there, like Ron DeSantis, decide they try to outdo themselves. They wake up and see how more radical, how more crazier can I be to get Trump support, to get Trump to like me. Just like DeSantis decided one day to wake up and build, concentration like camps in the Everglades to get Trump to come down there. And now you got the governor of Tennessee saying, "Come on in, bring in the National Guard and let's rock and roll." You have to understand, this is all part of theatrics, because in reality, I'm going to let you know ahead of time before the media gives you the breaking news and the outlines. Yes, when the National Guard comes into Memphis, just like if they would come into anywhere, crime is going to go down. You're going to see the polls and the crime drop. You're going to see, and it's like an exterminator coming in and spraying, all the cockroaches and all the rats and everything are going to hide. But what happens when the extermination is done? What happens when the exterminator leaves and doesn't come back? They all come out. Same thing as what's going to happen in all of these places. Yes, as soon as so these are all being set up for again, part of Project 2025. These are all being set up to get the press releases to go in there and do these things. So he's announced this, but the interesting part, I don't know if you guys could see it. You have go read my letter because I put the video out there. I'm going to play the audio, but the reporters are asking him the question. This is what I'm trying to say important. And those of you that already are getting to know Donald Trump a little bit better through all the years and then through listening to me, you know that he is so narcissistic. He wants to control. He wants to, but when he doesn't know something or when he's not involved, he gets lost and he right away passes it on to somebody. So yesterday when he was being asked questions, he kept passing it on to Stephen Miller. And that's why I keep telling you Stephen Miller came out of the mask, came off. And that's why it's so important. Go read my Substack that I put out today. It breaks it all down. But here he's asked a question about Memphis, and he, instead of answering it, he passes it on to Stephen Miller. Let's listen to this.
President Trump's initiative here in Washington, D.C., is important to understand, is the most successful anti-crime initiative in American history. But just think about it for a second. In 30 days, President Trump put together a team that saw the largest ever violent crime reduction in any city in American history, something that people had not been able to do in 40 years. That is a momentous achievement. And now the president is going to take that same model to Memphis, and as he said, more cities after that. The team the president has put together has no equal today or anywhere in American history. I think what's happening here is that what the president has done is made clear the power of federal law enforcement that was used for the last 4 years to harass and attack conservatives, to harass and attack Christians, to go after law-abiding families. The power of law enforcement under President Trump is going to be used to get all the criminals, all the violent offenders, all the murderers, all the cartels, and all the domestic terrorists off our streets. So whether you're Antifa, whether you're a domestic terrorist, whether you are a violent gang member, a drug trafficker, a trained Nicaragua killer, or anyone else who's threatening our people, President Trump is saying he's going to use his FBI, his DOD, his ATF, his DEA to wipe you out behind bars, to take you off the street, or to apply whatever legal consequences necessary. Mr. President, I'm honored beyond words to be a part of this team under your leadership as you've saved thousands of lives.
Thank you very much.
Just think about carefully the way, the things that he was saying, and break it down. I don't want to spend too much time on it because we have a lot to go over and we have a lot of people. And then I'm hoping Alex joins us soon, Alexander, because I want to give you an update in Ukraine. But please go back when you have a chance. Read my Substack letter today. You'll understand what I'm talking about. I need you to see their faces, their expressions, and I want you to see and you'll understand what I'm saying, that the mask came off. But then it didn't end there, folks. It didn't end there because then they kept asking Trump questions. And then one of the questions they asked him, I think he's rolling with, what's it called? Blah, blah, blah. They asked him about Charlie Kirk and how he's going to respond. And Stephen Miller just took over that one also. So let's listen to this one.
Yeah, so what you're referring to is there are these nonprofit entities that organize, as the president mentioned, attacks on ICE officers, attacks on Border Patrol agents, organized doxing campaigns, which are a violation of federal law. They break off cement and they bring it to riots. They organize drop points for weapons, organize drop points for gas masks, organize drop points for all the materials necessary to launch a riot. And of course, you saw that during the Black Lives Matter riots as well, too. This whole network of organizations. And I think the key point the president's been making is somebody is paying for
Listen to the words. Somebody's paying for this.
And so under the president's direction, the attorney general is going to find out who is paying for it.
Who's paying for it?
They will not be criminally liable for paying for it.
Now, let me tell you why this is extremely important, because I can't believe the media is not talking. Nobody's talking about that. So please, folks, spread this message far and wide, because this is some very important stuff I'm telling you here that they're talking about. Let's listen again.
There are these nonprofit entities.
He's talking about nonprofit entities. He's talking about nonprofit organizations. And the key he's talking about is money. We're going to go after the money. We're going to go after the people to donate. So think about what happens if all of a sudden people that donate money to all of these, No King's Day, to all these nonprofits, all these organizations that are out there supporting because of trying to fight to get the truth out and everything, that all of a sudden now people are going to be scared to donate. People are going to be scared to go on the list. So it's basically like, taking the gas out of the car. So instead of going to actual people now that are out there fighting the fight, they're going after the money that supports these organizations. And this is not Donald Trump. This is Project 2025, folks. This is Project 2025. I keep telling you, I keep warning. I've been speaking about this ever since even before he came into office. When he came out there, he lied, standing there. He had no idea what it was, that he did not know about it. I started saying back then that he's lying. It's part his team wrote it. They're putting it. And the people that are running it right now are getting very dangerous and they're getting very ballsy. Very ballsy.
Of
And
course,
then JD Vance continued, I want you to hear in his voice because he needed to also jump into the fray. And on Charlie Kirk's what's it go? Oh, Alexander is here. Alexander, I'm going to bring you up in 1 minute. Let me just finish this and I'm going to bring you. And here goes JD Vance talking about who he thinks killed Charlie Kirk.
of course, we have to make sure that the killer is brought to justice. And importantly, we have to talk about this incredibly destructive movement of left-wing extremism that has grown up over the last few years. And I believe is part of the reason why Charlie was killed by an assassin's bullet. We're going to talk about how to dismantle that and how to bring real unity that can only come when we tell the truth and everybody knows that they can speak their mind about the issues of the day without being cut down by a murderer's gun.
Radical left. Here's Pam Bondi.
Doesn't matter who it is. Yes, who killed Charlie? Left-wing radicals, and they will be held accountable.
And they will be
So will anyone in this country who commits a violent crime against anyone, and the death penalty, thanks to Donald Trump, is on the table.
The death penalty is on the
A few
table.
moments ago, let's bring in Pierre tonight. What else did you learn from the Attorney General, Pierre, as far as evidence gathered so far?
David, the Attorney General was adamant that they have DNA evidence to prove Tyler Robinson assassinated Charlie Kirk. And she also says the evidence will prove that he's a left-wing radical. When I pressed the AG about the president and others in the administration saying that this is mainly a left-wing problem, she made clear that she will be pursuing any left-wing groups that can be tied to political violence.
See, I just want you to see how it's all the laughing radicals, but then it shifts. It shifts to the people that are funding it, the money, the people are talking. They're going to be coming after the money guys. They're going to be coming after the people like us that are talking. That's it. They're setting it up. That's why it's important. That's why I'm telling you, please listen to what I'm telling you and spread this message far and wide, because I'm telling you, otherwise you're going to wake up one day, we're going to be all very, very sorry. And I told you so, and the world is going to save it, because you're talking about decades of suffering for ourselves, for our kids, and for our grandkids and the future of our country, and not just our country, the world, because you're talking about millions of people are going to lose lives and live in a different world. And just think about the other thing. We have the DOJ right now. This is Pam Bondi. Listen to what she's talking about, people at work, because the one thing that we haven't mentioned is all of the people there right now, they have lists. Remember the list that I used to tell you about, the revenge list that I'm on, Michael Cohen and others are on? Well, now they have lists of everybody that goes out there and talks bad about Charlie Kirk. Well, not even bad. Let me reframe myself. Anybody out there that talks the truth. People that use Charlie Kirk's own words and language and talk about the disruptive ways and the vile things that he used to say are now being threatened or being fired. Corporations are being threatened to fire, to go after colleges, or going after professors, and so it's incredible what's happening. And that's why I keep saying this. This is the most dangerous time in our lives, folks. So I want you to listen to Pam Bondi right now, as she talks about telling us that now what you can or cannot do free speech wise. Listen to this.
It's free speech, that you shouldn't be employed anywhere if you're going to say that. And employers, you have an obligation to get rid of people. You need to look at people who are saying horrible things and they shouldn't be working with you. Businesses cannot discriminate. If you want to go in and print posters with Charlie's pictures on them for a vigil, you have to let them do that. We can prosecute you for that. I have to meet Dylan right now in our civil rights unit, looking at that immediately, that Office Depot had done that. We're looking at that.
Oh, we're looking
But
at that.
Sean,
Just think about that. They're now dictating to you, like as an owner of a business, how you're supposed to deal with your employees and what thought you're supposed to have. So if Charlie Kirk says that black people should all die, or gay people should not be allowed to have same sex, or I don't know, whatever crazy shit that he says, we're not allowed to. We have to agree with it now. You're not allowed to debate, because if you disagree, well, what happened with all the riots with George Floyd, BLM, all the Antifa that you guys are talking about, and this is what's so. Folks, let me. I'm going to try to bring Alex up here while we're going into that. So I just want to let you know that this is something that is extremely, extremely important, because what this is all being done for, this is being done. And as I wrote to you, and I'm telling you, this is the push for Project 2025. This is the push for them to be able to push it through here. So I'm begging you, and I'm telling you, folks, go spread this message far and wide, because the world's depending on it. The things that I'm telling you, I promise you, no media is talking about. None of them are risking it. And this is important stuff that you guys can. So, Alexander, my brother, how are you? How are you? Welcome back. I know you had a long couple of days trip back from Dnipropetrovsk. How's the family?
Everybody, I'm back in Kiev. Before I go off into anything, I wanna thank everybody for everything you've done, for giving me an ability to help some people and keep on helping some people that need help. It would not be possible without you. I know it doesn't sound like much. I mean, it's only some dry shower packs and some hygiene products, but they make so much difference. It's hard to explain, especially when you give it to. I met some interesting people on this trip, people that made peace with God. It's like they out there on the front lines, they're fighting every day, and they're not afraid. And they know that every day could be their last, and they're not afraid. And then I could not understand that at the beginning. But then I stopped by at one warehouse where a lot of funds come and people come get help. And the guy's telling me, well, maybe 100 meters away, the bomb landed. It's like they're targeting. And I'm sitting there, I'm saying, wait a second. So this actually takes a split second. No warning, nothing, because you are so close. And there is no, somehow, I guess, God's with us when we do this, because it's protecting us, and it's your prayers, your help, your energy, everything you do. Thank you so much, because right now Ukraine needs it more than ever. Because if you look at this, there is a scale that shows that ever since the Trump's inauguration, I think it's like 3-1. I don't want to jump the numbers, but it's up. It's like this. The scale of bombardment, the attacks, and everything else is just up. And as Lev put out earlier, yesterday, Zaporizhia, I mean, the sky just opened up. Bombs, artillery, I mean, everything fell there. And it's not just Zaporizhia, it's everywhere. I mean, like I said before, over there where I was, it's like people sit in the car when the siren's on and they look at the radar and they say, okay, this is just passing us. Or this might come from there. And they are like navigating what to do with their lives. And it's like, so when somebody tells me they have a problem, well, in a different world, it's not a problem. When your goal in life is to wake up in the morning and then get through the day and go to sleep at night, that kind of makes the rest of things in the world easy compared to that. And to these people, it's an everyday of life. But nevertheless, Lev, if you don't mind, I'll just catch up on a few things.
Go ahead. So
Yeah.
please, we miss you. We
But-
miss you, brother.
But nevertheless, the spirit is high. I mean, high. I don't care how many bombs fall. I don't care how many Shaheds and drones they launch. Nothing stopping Ukraine. I mean, people. It doesn't make a difference what Trump does. I mean, God willing, something changes, but it's so far it's not in our favor. But nevertheless, the Russia's plan was to put us to our knees. So we have no gas, so we have no heat, so we have no fuel to fry. So because we dependent on everything from coming to us, because before the war, the diesel came from Belarus, most of it. So when the war started, that stopped. So, but it got flipped. It got flipped because right now Russia is considered a gas station to the world, and right now this gas station is out of fuel because we do the same thing to them, but just not barbaric. I was in the places that got hit 7 times. There is no reason to hit it 7 times, but they want to make sure it doesn't get fixed, or they want to make sure if somebody's working it, they hit it again, so nobody would try to fix anything. So, but we're doing the same thing, but to the oil refineries, as soon as they try to fix it, boom, it's out. But as soon as they try to pump gas, it's out. So right now, and we also, I think you also put out that they hit the shadow fleet, that American sanctions cannot touch no more. Guess what? I guess they are not untouchable. So there are a lot of things. The war is moving good way, and I saw the clip from Kellogg in his interview. He said when he was asked by Trump, "How's the war going?" and he said that Russia's losing. I mean, he said it straight out that Russia's losing.
But everybody says Russia's losing except for Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin. They're the only two that says Russia's winning. I mean, otherwise everybody, I mean, it's disgusting, Alex, that Trump is, doing the things he's doing. But me and you both talked about it, and we're constantly talking about raising the alarm. I wanted to share a little good news. I know me and you haven't had a chance to speak since you've been traveling and you got back. I know, and I know you're going through your own things, and you have to be moving soon, and you're doing everything you can. But I've been speaking to both Stephen and Michael, your boys here, and we're putting together a GoFundMe with all of our subscribers here and followers. We're gonna put a little GoFundMe for you, Alex, to be able to help you with your move, to help you to be able. So this is from all of us. We're gonna put that together in the next day or so, to make sure that take a little something off your head, to know your family is going to be okay, also, so you can continue doing what you're doing. I'm glad to see that. I know that for the smile.
Well, it's been a while. Thanks. But Steven, he's been here.
I know. I spoke to him, and I saw your grandson that you need to. I know you haven't held him and seen him.
That's I have two parts right now. One of my daughter right here because my boys are old already. I have my daughter next to me, which is half of my heart, and now I have another one that's he's adorable.
Yes,
I can't wait for this war to stop so I can go see him.
yeah, soon. And I got some more. I got some more good news.
Right.
So, for everybody out there, we've been in touch. I'm good friends with our family. Actually, we're all family with the Midas Touch and the Midas brothers, Brett, Ben, and Jordy. Brett has actually had a baby. I think boy also a few days ago, so he's been out of pocket, but we're talking about Alex because of all the coverage, and we're going to try to get you as much help as possible. We're going to put together, in partnership with the Midas Touch and with Voice from Ukraine, a full-time Ukrainian channel that will divulge time with their help to be able to bring facts, disinformation, and fight and everything for the people of Ukraine. And on a much bigger scale, and to be able to do what the media, what they're and fight this disinformation war. So we're bringing the cavalry, as they say. We're gonna get you
I
some
know.
help. Yeah,
Got
we're gonna get you some help. Putting
the
that
more
together.
the more people hear about this, the more difference it's gonna make. Because believe me, it could be an average person doing nothing and just sharing it, and it gets to the right person, and then the right person does something else, and then shares it to the other person, and next thing you know, you have a spider web. So that's very important. But as you mentioned, that the drones to Poland. It's not just to Poland; it's to some other country, because there is a originally what they want because if they get to Baltic countries and take them over, one of them in particular, then they can surround Ukraine. And right now they feeling this is just like me and you said about a week ago. They just feeling out how far they can push, because uh, you saw what Trump did. He said that I'm ready to hit the sanctions as soon as you stop buying the oil, which is too slow. Two countries are buying it; they have no other choice. But nevertheless, but as soon as he puts that out, within half an hour there is a statement by China to Europe. If you going to put sanctions on any companies that buy Russian oil, you're gonna have to deal with us. So isn't this a catch-22?
No, yeah, I mean,
So
this is
it's
planned by them. This was planned
yeah,
by them in Beijing.
it's a bad thing, but like everything else, it's plus and minus. So the good thing is that I think anybody in the right common sense mind, especially in politics, understand that uh, that parade party that was there. The other party is across the ocean, and there is Europe. So and Europe is Europe. It's democracy is the foundation of things. That's all there is. So Europe without Ukraine and Ukraine without Europe is like it's like bread and butter right now, especially right now, because as you see, there is a lot of joint contracts being signed where weapons are going to be built in Europe. So they're uniting. So because Ukraine is Europe right now. So it's nobody's even talking about as Ukraine is. Part of Soviet Union, or even mention that it was part of the Soviet Union. But right now, it's already European Ukraine. It's all about Europe. And right now, the question is not if Ukraine is going to EU. Right now, the question is when, because that's the only way it can be, and everybody knows that. So Europe is getting stronger. Ukraine is getting stronger, and having a partner far away is one thing, but having a partner within the same time zone, that's priceless, I believe, for us to stand still.
Hey,
I mean,
hey, Alex,
let get us strength and keep on fighting back.
let me ask you a question. I didn't get a chance. I'm trying to verify, but I heard I was speaking to one of my sources that told me something crazy. I didn't understand if it's true, or maybe I misunderstood him. I'm trying to verify it. He told me that there's Indian troops that are in either I didn't understand, fighting against, training against, but there's Indian troops in
Okay,
Russia. So,
yes.
uh,
India sent 59 or 60 of the soldiers to take part in Russia Belarus training as joining
the training right now the Russia and Belarus are doing on the border of Poland, where uh,
with India.
with so India. So that is true. It is true.
Yeah,
They send their troops.
about 60 soldiers, I think, something like that.
Well, that's great. I mean, folks, you heard it here. I mean, now we have Indian troops in uh, playing war games on the border of Poland. Well, just let me tell you, for those of you that don't know right now,
I was just,
what's going on the border of Poland, Poland has shut down the border. Poland has shut down the border, the train border, the roads, and Russia is now threatening all out Poland, saying that if you don't open the border with Belarus, we're going to. That's an act of war. So this is what's happening, and right now they're having the war games or whatever you call it between Belarus and Russia. And what Alex is just confirming that what my sources were telling me that there's 60 Indian. The Modi sent 60 soldiers to participate. So India is participating in in these so-called war games. That's crazy.
but it's more crazy than that. I'm gonna focus the picture a little better. Here is a border that Polish been trying to close it for quite some time because there was a lot of spies and everything going through it. That there was a lot of diversions. Anyway, they finally closed it. But at the same time, so here's the border. You have on the Russian side, you have Iskanders, ballistic missiles, standing all the way across. Lift up. They just standing there. They're on the road. At the
Yeah, I posted that. Yeah.
Now, on this side, you have Russian troops, Belarus troops, and now 60 Indians, whatever, training also. And on the other side, on Polish side, you have 40,000 troops with thousands of tanks, artillery, and everything else standing right at the border. So you have, I mean, if a spark goes off in the wrong corner, there is fire. That's how tight it is right now. I mean, Lev is right. You don't put up. It's like, excuse my French, but you don't put on a condom unless you're gonna have sex. So you don't put up Iskanders, and you don't do all these joint troops if you're not trying to scare somebody. So, but right now the
Look,
NATO troops are gonna stationing in Poland. The NATO airlines are patrolling Poland. So NATO, I saw some articles today, and they saying that what happened last time won't happen again. What
yeah, I
happened
know.
last time with those 19 shaheads? I mean, there was like a slap. So they are patrolling it. But on the other hand, again, there is also always two sides. At the same time, uh, Medvedev came out and said if somebody shoots down any Russian shahed or drone or whatever, it's like an act of war. We'll have to respond against NATO. And then Peskov, I think this morning, came out and said, well, the missiles, they are the missiles and everything else that they've been delivered to Poland is from NATO. So if you kind of look at, you're already fighting NATO. That
Yeah, that's the rhetoric.
it's very, very careful words. He says we already fighting NATO, so that means they're laying out the ground. So if they hit something tomorrow, yeah, but they hit us with this because the missile came from there because they gave it to them, so we responded. This is what has been built.
And the also interesting part I want everybody to notice the rhetoric and the terminology and the way they're talking about, and the one thing that we have now gotten to is that NATO is separated themselves, and well, let me reframe. Trump has separated America from NATO. So before, if you were to be said that you're going to hit a NATO country or you're attacking NATO, the first country that would be an attack on would be the United States,
Yeah.
because the United States is NATO. But if you listen to what's happening here and the rhetoric that is taking place right now, that what is happening is that Trump is coming out and saying to NATO stop buying oil, which he knows they can't because certain countries like Hungary are Russia's. It's like part of Russia. Viktor Orban, they're going to buy it. Turkey is going to buy it. Other countries, there's a few countries that can't survive without buying it. So they know they can, but that's why Trump did what he did by saying that he is going to. Every country has to stop buying it before he even considers putting up anything. So he walks away from NATO. Then, when the missiles hit Poland, and Trump is asked about the Shaheds that went over Poland, he calls it a mistake, and he said, like no big deal, because again, Poland, 19 Shahed rockets that went into drones into Poland that got shot down. That was 19 drones that were sent over into basically. We have American troops in Poland. I mean, they could have hit.
That's now. I'm gonna add to it a little bit. Those drones were programmed to. They were programmed to go over NATO headquarters. That's where they were going.
Thank you. Thank you. So again, this was so if tomorrow a NATO country gets it, you know what I'm hearing? Trump is going to turn around and say they didn't do nothing to us. That was their own fault. They're, stop buying oil. Stop doing, if you want to do it, they're their own cause of this problem. This is all part of, if you guys remember, about 2-3 weeks ago, maybe a month ago, me and Alexander, we were telling you guys that all of these theatrics, everything that's happening was all being set up because the game plan is for Trump to walk away and for Putin to do what it was. And it's and this is what I want to lead into, because it's very important about the story that I'm glad you're here, Alexander, because me and you are the ones that broke it and spoke about it. And you're the one that originally 4 or 5 months ago brought up Steve Witkoff before anybody even know who Steve Witkoff's name was. Okay. And the thing that is happening that the media and nobody's talking about is the way Trump. What does Russia really have on Donald Trump? Well, everybody asks that major question: what's the compromise? Why is Trump doing what he's doing? Well, it's not just Donald Trump, folks. It's Russia has a lot of area of Trump inner circle, like Steve Witkoff, Trump, and others. Not because of them being actual agents where they report to Russia, KGB. This is what I'm going to know. It doesn't work that way. These are people that were targeted by Russia and other sources because of their greed, because of their beliefs, because of their hunger for power, because of their willingness to break the rules, because of their willingness to look the other way, because of their willingness to do whatever it takes to get to what they want. And these were operations that were being done for over 30, 40 years. And when I break it and when I get you all this information, this will be probably one of the biggest operations, in the history of any, CIA, KGB, any of these services, to actually get one of your useful idiots into the White House. And not only one, but get a whole administration to do what you're doing for you. Because the one thing that, Alex, that nobody even talks about, remember Sergei Gore? Sergei Gore, the Russian asset that works. You know where Sergei Gore is right now?
India, right?
Yeah, he's the ambassador of India. He's the ambassador of India right now so now Putin has his own ambassador liaison that is like an American in India. And you can't make you can you really.
Lev, you know something interesting? There is an algorithm that hasn't changed. Ever since the beginning, every time there is something going on between Trump and Russia, Russia would do something to slap him in the face on the way out. Every single time. And even right now, by saying that Russia's already fighting NATO, America is not official out of NATO. America is part of NATO. So when he's saying that Russia is fighting NATO, he pulls America into it as well, because America is still part of NATO.
Yeah, but that's just like technically, Trump does basically. But you're right. No, 100%. But Trump's not. Alex, I know you gotta also go. You're tired. You've been traveling all the time. I want you to get some rest. But before we go, I wanted to share with everybody. I want to end off on that last night we had some breaking news. Not breaking to us because those of you that have subscribed and follow us, we've told you in May what was going on. But they broke. CNN and New York Times broke it yesterday. In May, for those of you that don't remember, Trump went on a trip to the Middle East. Part of that trip going to the Middle East, again, has to do with Ukraine because a lot of it people don't remember, but it was because there were supposed to be sanctions that were put on to Russia. There was supposed to be big news happening, and all of a sudden, Trump needed to change the news narrative and decide he was going to go to the Middle East. We spoke about and we talked about, the media followed it, and the biggest news that came out of it, if you remember, was not only the way Trump kissed MDS's ass and the way he ran around, but the Qatari jet that they gave him. Everybody was like, oh my God, look at that Qatari jet. But what me and Alex were telling you was a lot more important than a Qatari jet. We were saying, wait a second, you know, what our sources, and Alex was confirming through his sources in Ukraine, were saying that, listen, Steve Witkoff's son, Zach Witkoff, and Tweedledee and Tweedledum, how I call him, Eric Trump and Don Jr. Trump, were in the UAE a week prior to that, and there was a big cryptocurrency deal cut that was done that nobody's talking about. That has to do with World Financial. And the media, nobody, I mean, there might have been somebody that wrote something somewhere, such as something, but it was, nobody spoke anything. The only thing you heard about was the Qatari jet. Well, folks, last night I'm sitting here at 11 o'clock at night, and I'm as I'm watching what's it called TV. I'm scrolling down before I go to sleep. Seeing what CNN, MSNBC, all of them are talking about, just to get an idea how bad they are. And all of a sudden, Anderson Cooper, breaking news. Listen to this one.
We're learning about two multi-billion-dollar deals involving the Trump White House, the ruling family, the UAE, and the United Arab Emirates, and World Liberty Financial, a cryptocurrency business co-founded by the Trump family and the family of Steve Witkoff, a close confidant of the president, who's also his Mideast envoy. The New York Times reports that in one deal, an Emirati investment firm deposited $2 billion in World Liberty Financial. Shortly after, the administration granted the UAE access to advanced AI chips. Now, the Times said,
Whoa! So let's understand that. So yeah, while they were there, they were given $2 billion. Just think about all the craziness. How many years we're talking about the Bidens about some kind of $5 million bribe or some kind of nonsense to a couple of $1 million. These guys are taking billions. Forget about they tens of millions, hundreds of. They went straight to the billions. So they got $2 billion. And Trump, that's why now we understand. Remember all the breaking news that Trump is selling AI chips to the Saudis. Why is he doing that? Well, now you have it. We told you there was. Don't look at what's being reported, what's talked about. At Lev Remembers, we taught you. You know already. Look what's not being talked about. Look what's not being reported on. So let's continue because nobody's talking about it today. But I want you to listen to how this deal was done, and exactly, if you go read our article, and I applaud you, please go read it. It's called "Breaking Billions for Chips, Silence for Truth, Democracy at Risk," and you'll be able to see this. Read. There's more in there, and also the article that I wrote 4 months ago, so you could see what we were speaking about 4 months ago. But here it is. Let's end it off. Give it a couple of minutes. I want you to listen how crazy and openly grifting they're doing, and tell me. I want somebody to tell me if you've heard anything about this. If you weren't up last night, you know nothing about this, and but this should be breaking news all over the place. So here we go.
investigation here. What possible reason would the UAE government have to use this Trump Witkoff linked cryptocurrency and $2 billion transaction other than to curry favor with the president while doing this other deal?
We asked the same question of the G42 and MGX, which is the UAE-backed sovereign wealth fund, financed organization, why they picked World Liberty Financial. And they said, well, we just looked at the available cryptocurrency companies and this seemed like the right fit. But what they didn't mention is that, MGX, the company that gave the $2 million, one of their board members is Marty Edelman, who's been a longtime friend of Steve Witkoff and was a real estate lawyer that worked with him on some transactions in New York City.
and that this deal was going to bring enormous profits to Steve Witkoff and to President Trump. At the same time as the United Arab Emirates was looking for access to these AI chips, one of the most important inventions in human history. They wanted to turn themselves into a world center of data and artificial intelligence. They want to transform themselves from an oil-based economy to a data and artificial intelligence based economy, and they needed access to these chips. So just around the same time, they give $2 billion to the Witkoffs and the Trumps. And we examined those two transactions, and what we found is that there were interconnections between those two transactions that were deeper than has been publicly known.
What response did you get from the White House?
The White House, said that they were distinct actions. That there was, one was a government action giving these AI chips, and the second was a private transaction. They said that, we asked them whether or not there appeared to be some evidence that Steve Witkoff may have violated, federal ethics standards. What they said was that there was an ethics, that his compliance with ethics was being reviewed by the White House counsel, and they said that he was in the process still of divesting in his stake in World Liberty Financial.
Did you hear that, folks?
This should be on every channel right now.
Did you hear? I mean, but we spoke about this 4 months ago. I mean, they literally, the quid pro quo, they went to the Emirates, they sold them, made them invest. And again, I don't know why, but the magic number is 2 billion. They gave 2 billion, the same wealth fund gave 2 billion to Kushner. Remember, now they gave 2 billion to Witkoff and the Trumps. It's that 2 billion number, and you know how Trump responded today, folks? No, that's it. Last night, Trump responded by today. And I'm not going to read the whole thing because it's so. I don't want to throw up. If you want to read it, go to my read the Substack letter. You'll get all the information. But Donald Trump responded by saying today. This was last night after the news story broke. He goes, remember, the New York Times is the one that broke the story. He goes, today I have the great honor of bringing a $15 billion defamation and libel lawsuit against the New York Times, one of the worst and most degenerate newspapers in the history of the country, becoming a virtual mouthpiece for the radical left Democratic Party. So there you go, folks. Alex, thank you for joining us. I know you're tired. I know you got your family, your daughter misses you. Go back, get some rest. It's late at night over there. I'll give you a call tomorrow. You'll update me on everything. We'll get everything going. I want you to try to get some sleep and rest today, and in your heart know that you're not alone. That you have a family out here. We got you. And it's all going to be okay. So I know you're worried about the move. Don't worry. It's all going to be okay, brother. You know what I mean? Just do your thing.
I just want to say something. Ukraine, I've been to a lot of countries, and Ukraine loves America. Ukraine loves Americans. And as you know, in America, Brighton Beach is one of the biggest Ukrainian community out there.
Little Odessa.
Yeah, it is like Little Odessa. So we have our problems. We have our war. And your brothers and sisters, you also have a war, but you have a different war. At least we can see our enemy. The war you fighting, you don't even know who the enemy is. It's all over the place. So our hearts are with you, and we pray that the democracy in America will restore, and Ukrainians will be able to travel there again, because as Trump trying to throw out over 200,000 Ukrainians that lost their place where they live and put every penny they had together to come to America to start a new life, and those lives could be shared to pieces, because if they get thrown out, they have nowhere to go. They have nowhere to get funded to go. So we are with America. We want America to restore itself to full democracy, and so our Ukrainians can live and help America to get to the democracy. Because, like I said, We are all human beings. We're all together, and we can only strive in peace. God bless everybody. Thank you for everything you do for us. Slava
Yep.
Ukraine.
Geroim Slava. God bless you, Alex, and Slava Ukraini, my brother. Go get some rest.
Thank you.
There you have it, folks. He's gonna go get. He needs some rest. He's been traveling for the past 2.5 days through some of the hardest hit areas. He doesn't have a car. He's been using transportation, going through checkpoints, and we just so you understand, it is wartime, and it's just it's not a it's not an easy situation with that. So, what I do want to say to every single one of you out there, and I want to say, first of all, on behalf of Alex, the people of Ukraine, thank you. God bless you guys for all the work, for all the support and the GoFundMe's, for all the different areas. Think about it. Together, we've been able to. I know it hasn't been huge. We're not, some multi-billion-dollar company that's out there doing, but together with your help, have been able to deliver aid to Odessa, deliver aid to Kharkiv, and Alex just came back from Dnipropetrovsk area, and we're only getting started. And you know what? Later today or tomorrow, I'm going to put together a Substack letter, a little bit telling you about who Alex is and who Alexander is, and some of the things that he has achieved, and that so you guys get to know who the real man is, and who's on our side, because you know him just as somebody from Ukraine, but he's been there and he's been fighting this fight for a very, very long time, and he deserves all the support and help we could give him. And as far as here at home, folks, I mean, listen, I want to just say this. I'm not trying to scare you. I'm not trying to fearmonger. I'm not trying to do it. And I want to make it very clear and say that, because some people say, Lev, stop. We can't handle it. What are we supposed to do? I'm sorry. And I understand. I feel your pain. I understand what you're saying, but I just need you to know that I'm not here to put on a show because for the faint of heart. This is not a show. I'm here to deliver the truth. I'm risking my freedom, my life. I mean, look at the world we live in nowadays, where you're scared to go out there and speak at a forum, not knowing it's some nut that takes an AK-47, and because of our rules and regulations and the divisiveness nature that the country we are, that takes a pot shot at you. So it's a crazy situation, and I'm doing it because I feel a responsibility from where I came from. Because remember, I'm not a reporter, I'm not a pundit. I was part of Mega. I was Trump's right-hand guy. I was the guy he sent to Ukraine. I was born in the Soviet Union. I grew up in that environment. I know these people very well, all of them. I know Pam Bondi very well. I know Kash Patel before Kash Patel was just the right-hand man to Congressman Devin Nunes. I work with them. We were part of one of that family. I know Charlie Kirk. I was there when Charlie Kirk and Candace Owens just came in. So believe me when I tell you, there's going to come a time where they're going to do everything they can. And I'm already hearing the rumblings. I'm already hearing what they're talking about, how they're going to shut it down, how they're going to close it down, how they're going to shut me up. And I'm not the only one in this fight. I also have my family, my son Aaron. You guys know him. He's out there in the front line in the same danger, trying to just report the news. He's not even giving you inside information like I am. He's just reporting it, giving you an accurate report, a non-biased report of news, and they're trying to shut him up and close him down. They're going after all the independent journalists. They're going to do it. So I'm telling you, that's why I'm asking you, and that's why I'm saying we're in one of the most dangerous, if not the most dangerous time of our history and of our lives. And if we stand and do nothing, we will regret it. So I'm asking you, and I'm telling you, we need to go expand. I appreciate for all of you that subscribe, for all of you that are paid subscribers, that contribute, that go out there and donate to the GoFundMe's. God bless you. Thank you for all you do. And I don't know how else I could tell you, but you're a big part of that's allowing this movement to, you're a major part that is allowing this, me and Alexander and us, to be able to give and stand here and do this 24 hours a day, to be able to, because I believe this is a war of disinformation. Just like there's soldiers on the front line, we as this community, we as this movement, we have become the resistance. we are also on the front line. We're in the war fighting disinformation. And that's why everybody has a job to do. So, and for those of you that haven't joined yet or are just joining or becoming new members, you could ask anybody here, and they'll tell you the information that you're going to receive here, and you're not going to see it on the channel CNN or MSNBC or Fox. You're not going to hear it from other pundits in this unless they report what we've been talking about. So that's why it's important to spread the news. It's important for you to be our megaphone, an extension of our voices. And we have a lot coming up, and it's not just Ukraine. It's not just our democracy. I gave you a pledge and I gave you my promise. Because of the Epstein files, what Donald Trump is trying to do by rewriting history, by silencing the survivors, I dedicated this platform to giving them a voice and making sure that we will not allow that to happen. And that's why make sure this Thursday, 3:15, I'm going to have Congressman Ro Khanna on here. Congressman Ro Khanna is the leader in the fight with Massey, Congressman Massey, to be in a bipartisan fight to be able to release the Epstein files. And we are going to hear from the horse's mouth, as they say. He's going to tell us exactly. I don't want to tell you what I'm hearing. We'll save it till Thursday. So this way, make sure you tune in. And then right after that, we're going to have for paid subscribers special Q&A that you'll be able to do. So make sure you make that Thursday, 3:15. And then right after that, at a later time, we're going to have Unleashed to discuss all about it. So again, thank you all of you for subscribing, for following, for all the DMs. I read them, I follow them. But I'm going to ask you from the bottom of my heart, now is the time where we need to push it. We need to put the pedal to the metal. We need to expand our platform as wide as possible. We need to go out to each and every one of you. I ask you, just do this for a second. Do me a favor and just sit back for 1 second. Close your eyes. Just close your eyes for 1 second and just sit there and just think for yourself, what can I do today? What else can I do to help save my democracy? Can I write another letter? Can I hit that heart button one more time? Is there somebody I haven't called or sent this message or forwarded this message to? Is there a congressman or a senator or a congresswoman I could send an email or make a phone call to? Have I subscribed yet? Can I maybe become a paid subscriber? Can I maybe become a founding member? Can I contribute to Venmo? And by the way, for those of you that are asking me, the 3 ways you could also contribute to support our mission here is Venmo. That's at Lev-Parnas, my first and last name. Then PayPal is at Lev Parnas. And then Zelle is the real Lev Parnas at gmail.com. That's the real Lev Parnas at gmail.com. And all your donations, all your contributions, all your subscriptions help not just myself, but also Alexander, because here we have 2 platforms. It's the Voice from Ukraine and it's Lev Remembers. And that's our mission, to speak truth to power, to keep the vision on. And also, for those of you that have just joined, I'm going to be putting it out there, so you make sure to rewatch the whole thing. But we have some also great news of our partnering up and putting together a major channel that's going to have to do with Ukraine. The Voice from Ukraine is going to partner up with the Midas Touch to give you a much better, much more powerful, and much more detailed experience, not just to you, but to spread the message far and wide. Because as you can see, everything we spoke about today, I could guarantee you the media, nowhere you'll find it. Even if you start Googling it, it's not even in print anymore. That's how crazy it is. Anyway, folks, I wish you a happy end of the day. As I tell you every day, with all the craziness going on, make sure go hug your kids. Make sure you call your mother, your father, your kids, your brother, your sister, your significant other, or just a friend. Or just go for a walk, or just take care of yourself. Go get a massage. Go get that, something that, yummy that you want to eat. Just put away the news. Go away from this a little bit and just take time out to yourself, because the number one thing that they're trying to do, that we need to do, is stay mentally strong, because the mind is what they're trying to destroy first. Because once that goes, it's a lot easier to control. And believe me, trust me, I was there. Not only was I part of that cult, I was one of the leaders of that cult, and I I was in those rooms and know exactly how this all works. So trust me, I tell you. So anyway, for those of you who hadn't, thank you for the support. God bless you. And watch out. Make sure you go read the last several Substack letters I put out. Extremely, extremely important information. So I need you to read it to stay up tuned. And I have some more breaking news that I'm working on in the next day or so that you don't want to miss. So if you haven't yet, make sure to subscribe. Take care, and love remembers.